Hi everyone. I just wanted to put this out there as a quick introduction as to who I am. I haven't done this I think I did one a while back, but I haven't done one in quite some time. So my name is Zach Crooks. I am a shamanic practitioner, Buddhist Nagpa, and a Paco, who is someone who is trained in the Andean traditions, and I also lean quite heavily on the other Peruvian traditions. Um, but my main focuses are sort of Tibetan Buddhism, and some of the shamanic cultures revolved around them, core shamanism, and the Andean traditions. So I currently live in Brisbane, Australia, and I have been doing shamanic practitioner work since about 2012. It's something I grew up around. My stepdad, my mum, and both my aunties core shamanic practitioners. So that's kind of how I got involved with it all when I got a little bit older, and I kind of fell into that path. And my initial first teacher, Kerry Henwood, is who I learnt the core shamanic practices through. She is also a Tibetan Buddhist and worked a lot with the Native American and South American and a little bit of Central American traditions. So all of her teachings were also heavily influenced by those traditions that I've then gone on to study deeper and deeper to be actually initiated into in a more formal sense. So I'm currently working. I've been quite unwell physically for this year, so I haven't been teaching like I normally have been in previous years. So I just wanted to give a quick intro to who I am, what I do, and yeah, just a bit of my past. So my first, sorry, my phone was going off if you could hear that. My first introduction to shamanism was a family holiday to Hawaii when my mum and stepdad were taking part in a retreat with Kerry Henwood and Georgia Hovey, which was a mix of core shamanic traditional Hawaiian, and rebirthing breathwork. That's kind of where I met Kerry and Georgia, who became two of my first and major teachers. Then I continued on study here in Australia whenever Kerry and Georgia were in town, around core shamanism and breathwork. I don't really do the breathwork stuff, but it is something that I have studied and just really want to mention Georgia as a teacher. Then we did a family trip to Peru, which again was a mix of Kerry and Georgia's teachings and traditional Peruvian teachings of the Andes and the Amazonian medicine plant traditions. And then I did a lot more training back here in Australia whenever people were in town and holding teachings. Then we did a family trip to North America, which again was a mix of Kerry and George's teachings and Native American teachings. And then again back to Australia and a lot more work. And a lot more study whenever teachings were being held here or online. And then sort of pre-COVID, pre-COVID, I got really into the Andean traditions and kind of left the medicine plants behind and started really quite intense focus with Andean. What's the best way to phrase it? The sacred Andean traditions. Working very intensely with Joanne Wilcox as my teacher in the Andean traditions, and then pre-COVID got very much involved into Tibetan Buddhism and went through the process of refuge, Nodro, 3-year preliminary practice, and then gone on to do various empowerments, initiations and things within the Tibetan Buddhist schools and traditions, and some of the sort of more shamanic sides of those traditions. And about 3 years ago became ordained as a Nagpa, which is sort of a non-monastic Tibetan Buddhist practitioner that specializes in certain rituals and ceremonies and other practices. So that's sort of my main work and where my background has been. So core shamanism, the sacred Andean arts, and Tibetan Buddhist practices of several different lineages and schools. Very much tantric type work, bordering on the shamanic. So that's my background, and they're all kind of things that I'm working towards teaching. I've taught core shamanism for many years now. I'm starting to put together some Andean teachings, and I've also just begun to be able to do some Buddhist teachings, giving the refuge, which is the initial start of a Buddhist journey, taking refuge and being given a Dharma name. And then I have one Sadhana practice that I've been authorized to teach. So they're the main traditions that I personally work with. Am influenced by a few others, but they're the major ones, and the ones that I will be focusing on teaching and talking about moving forward, as I piece things together one by one and go through the process needed to put these teachings together and be authorized to teach deeper and deeper practices. So yeah, that's just a very quick rundown of who I am, what I do, and what I hope to be putting out into the world. And yeah, just unfortunately being quite unwell, so teaching via video is a big change for me. It's something I've never really done before. I've always done in person, face to face, or remote healings, but never taught through video form. So this is very new to me, so I've had to reformat things, but just wanted to give a quick intro of who I am, my background, and where I'm sort of moving towards. If you are interested also, my Buddhist teachers are Lama Glenn Mullen, Chodpa Dorje Kanzang, and Nicholas Breeze Woods. Well, Nick's more of a mentor than a teacher. I will just put that distinction in. And then, yeah, with the core shamanism and a bit of breath work, that's Kerry Henwood and Georgia Hovey. And then for the Andean stuff is Joanne Wilcox. They're my main teachers. I do work with others, but they're my main teachers. Yes, that's just a bit of brief background on me, the lineages, my teachers, where I want to be moving towards, and what you kind of can be expecting from me in the future. So nice to meet you all, and yeah, I hope you find something interesting in what I can offer through these videos that I'm going to be making. And I will see you soon, hopefully. Bye.